Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty,
And I'm Shad.
and today we're going to go over Head Count from 2018.
All right, we got everyone?
How many of us are there? Two, two, four, six.
Wait, hold on. You're missing somebody.
Have you been feeling off or different lately? It was like I was a passenger in my own body.
There's something strange going on here.
It's here.
What the hell was that?
I think I started something, summoned something.
What is wrong with you? Max, open the door! What does he want?
Disappear. 5 times its name. Universe.
That's all I have to say about this movie.
It is interesting.
It's interesting, but nothing really happens per se, because there's so many different subplot lines that they really don't like focus in on one. Because you can go in like so many different directions with this one.
Yeah, it's what's about first. It's about two brothers that they're not very close because the one, he raised the other one from the time their parents died. Now that they're a little older, they haven't been hanging out as much. So they decide they're going to hang out while the one's on break from college. They're going to go out into the desert where the one lives in a very small, like 70s looking trailer. And they're going to have all these great experiences in the desert where they're going to hike and meditate. And the other brother, the younger one is like, oh, great, we're going to meditate in the desert. This is going to be awesome. While they wander out into the desert, they come across a whole group of people that are, younger, and they're all smoking weed. They're having a good time. They invite the younger brother to come with them. And of course, he goes. And then they go back to their house that they have out in the middle of the desert. And he's already interested in the one girl. And they all sit around and start telling scary stories from anonymousnightmares.com is the name of the website they're all reading ghost stories from.
AKA Creepypasta.
Yeah, I was going to say they didn't hide that very well. Well, he reads a story about the Hisji, Hisj. Yeah, Hisji. And it's like, okay, I've never heard of this one before. But it's about a creature that it says it has green eyes, and it's there, but you don't recognize it. It has a whole little rhyme to it.
It's a vengeful spirit.
And, of course, immediately after reading this, they begin to see strange things.
I might not just sum it up because I feel like this is going to take like 10 more minutes if you're going through what the whole movie's about. I'm going to sum it up in this one sentence. It's Candyman meets It Follows. Boom. The whole fucking movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you say the Hisji 5 times and you end up with what looks like one of the aliens from the X-Files movie. I don't know if anyone remembers the action figures they made of that, but it was a really cool looking alien figure. Well, this looks like that, only with much less budget to try and make it.
This looks like my 1.5-year-old drew something and they just 3D formed it in a movie. It's terrible. Or it's like season 1 of the revamp of Doctor Who. That's exactly what it is. Terrible graphics. So much so that it literally takes you out of the movie because it's just like, what was that real? Because it looked so fucking bad. Was this movie made in 1997? Like, is Matthew Broderick in Broderick? I can't even say his name because just the CGI is so terrible.
Yeah, I think they could have been much better off if they had not shown it, because up until that point it was pretty creepy with you not actually seeing it. Because, spoiler alert, what this creature does is take the form of one of the people that's around it. So you get some great scenes where they're in the living room playing a drinking game, and one of the people there is, talking to him, interacting with him, and then suddenly the guy that's sitting in the circle of friends sticks his head through the kitchen door and says, "Hey, do you guys want a beer?" And they're like, "How the hell did you get in the kitchen?" And they turn to look for the guy's setting. The lights all go out. When they come back after a second, the guy's gone, of course, and they're like, "You were sitting here with us for hours playing this game." He's like, "No, I've been outside, guys. I don't know what you're talking about."
With other people that were outside with him that don't believe, they're like, "No, what are you talking? We've been playing with him the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?" Which is It follows. It's a very cost-effective way because they could either not afford to have CGI for a lot of the part of the movie and had to do like camera tricks and use that kind of like, oh, it's an invisible thing that's just jumping body to body that you don't really see, or taking the image of the person, and I don't have to spend that much money. I'm just gonna show literally what they show. I'm gonna say for like the whole thing in the film might be like 2 minutes of the monster that you actually do see.
Probably not even that. It's probably more like about 40 seconds of actual sight of the monster.
Yeah, I'm being generous. Where there's the outside scene and there's a scene where it's inside.
Yeah, and it's pretty effective that way too, where you're just they're talking to someone, and then when they turn their head to see that the person they thought they were talking to coming in the door, they turn back, they're just gone. And a lot of it looks like it might have been done in camera too, especially the one scene where they're all doing the drinking game in the dark. It would have been pretty easy for them, like the guy, to have just, because they weren't looking at him. They did a good job of moving the camera like back and forth across like the line of people, where just for a second that guy was out of your sight, and then he's coming through the door.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty effective, creepy trick.
Yeah, it was very effective. It's not bad for someone's first film. It was co-written and directed by, I'm going to say maybe Ellie Callahan. And so this is her first horror debut film, which it could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike the movie. I just had a complaint about the effects at the end with the alien. I'd rather a monster, whatever it is, alien, demon, whatever. I'd rather just not seen it, and just let your imagination would have been a lot creepier as to what it looked like. If they had just shown, because they mentioned it had green eyes, they could have just shown one of the people turn and look towards the camera, and then just have like oddly colored green eyes or something to give away that, oh, it's them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends on who you choose to do the effects for your film, because Z had a very effective monster.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it in the drawing, but when you did see the actual thing, it didn't, for me at least, it didn't completely take me out of the movie where I'm just like, what is this? Like, it just seeing the monster really fucked me up for the movie. Like, it was like I was with the movie, then they showed the monster and I was like, oh man, and then I went back to the movie.
Yeah, but there's a lot of really good like effective scares in it, where it's just very subtle things, like where you see characters doing something in the background, or you see them talking to someone you're not sure, is like, is that them or is that the thing pretending to be someone? This
might be the movie where I know some people were like, have you ever disagreed on a film? This might be a film we might disagree on. Because I don't know. It was very It Follows. Like, it just reminded me, the scare factor of it and like all the stuff you're saying literally is like right out of It Follows. That's what made It Follows. Because it's just like it's not in the frame and then it is in the frame, or it's in the corner of your fucking eye and then it's there, and it's just like, oh my god. I mean, and this is obviously for people, your non-haters of the film It Follows, because there's a strong hate crowd for that movie. And I really like the movie, but here's the poem if you want to hear it.
Oh yeah, let's hear the poem of the History, or however you say it.
A history is a vengeful thing, 5 times its name you never sing. With skin pale white and eyes of green, it's something you've already seen. Ooh. It's a pretty decent poem. That's, very Candyman-ish. You gotta fight five, say it 5 times. The demon, spirit, whatever you want to, alien, because they're in the Joshua Tree area.
Yeah, they're in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
And
There's a lot of, like, once you start to realize that there's something going on, there's a lot of instances of 5 things around.
yeah, you start noticing the number 5 because that's where it draws its power, from the number 5.
Yeah, and you see, like, as they're coming into the house, oh, there just happens to be, like, 5, what do you call it?
Solo
Shuffleboard.
cups.
Yeah, there's 5 solo cups sitting there, or there's 5 shuffleboard things lined up out there. There's 5 horseshoes sitting around. You just start to notice the 5s everywhere, and I thought that was a pretty neat trick. It's a little creepy thing. It's like when they show, like, on Poltergeist or something, when they have, like, the chairs stacked or something,
Mm-hmm.
It's something that could have been easily done, but not, it's still creepy when you start realizing that 5 just recurring everywhere.
Yeah, it's subtle. It's like once you pick it up, once it's mentioned, that's like all you see. Because, of course, like in all movies, you just type in the computer, well, mind you, obviously, he did get the story from anonymousnightmares.com. But, you just type in, like, some wording and it's like, here's the whole history of everything. And, like, a random open record story of some other chick that randomly had her blog and was discussing that she, said something about the history, and now her family's disappeared and no one knows where she's at.
This was a part that annoyed me. Was I love how they're like, on this website, they're like, oh, and here's all the crime scene photos. We have all those on here. The police just put all the crime scene photos out for everyone to look at. Here's the police records. Because that is really super easy to find on the internet. All you have to do is just type that shit in and it pops up.
It's public record, baby. It's public record.
I guess. Also, I'd like to say that I'm very impressed with everyone's cell phone coverage. Because they were in the middle of the desert and no one once ever said, hey, I've got no signal.
Everyone had Signal. No one had Sprint. Everyone had some other provider.
Yeah, they must have had someone other than Sprint because... But, yeah, that was... in all the movies now, there's always a thing where someone has to take out their phone and go, oh, I've got no signal. Which is code for this whole goddamn movie could be solved with a simple phone call. So we have to cut off all the phones. But this one, they just had the story to where by the time that they realized something was going on and that there was something not right... it was too late to use the phone because they were already in the middle of the shit. And people were trying to call, but it was just too late.
Yeah, and what do you even say in that phone call? Like,
911, what's your emergency? There's a history trying to kill me. Sir, please put the pipe down.
Please put the pipe down. Step away from the shrooms. Whoop, 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 whoop.
We're going to need you to step away from the shrooms and wait for Officer, what's his name? The crime, McGruff. Officer McGruff is going to come and talk to you about why you shouldn't do drugs.
Wow. I was going to say he's going to come and talk to you about forest fires, but that's the wrong guy.
That's Smokey the Bear.
That's the wrong guy.
He's Smokey the Bear, not the dog, the crime dog.
Yeah, well...
You see how you distinguish them?
Well, okay, but one has a very druggish name. His name is Smokey. I mean, what did you think I was going to grab from that? Yeah, the film, if it's not the worst film I've ever seen in my whole life, Blood Rain. It's I give it 2.5 knives. It's it's okay. I mean, I was in it to win it for the most part of the movie until they showed the thing, and then it's you can't come. It's so hard for me because I just want to hate on every single movie that comes out and be like, it's this movie and this movie and this movie. You just gotta come. There's no creative ideas anymore. There's barely any. Every movie nowadays is just a little bit of some other movie that either you loved or you.
This is similar to another one I was telling you about that I've seen called The One I Love. It's about a couple that gets sent to a remote house out in the middle of nowhere to do it's like marriage counseling. You're supposed to go out there, and they keep waiting for the counselor to arrive, but what they don't realize, there is no counselor that's going to arrive. Their issues are going to be worked out in a completely different way. And it's similar to this, where they start seeing different versions of themselves. And it works out eventually in that movie, spoiler alert, to where there's another version of the couple that kind of has opposite feelings of what the first one did, and then they all end up in a room trying to work it out.
But like, are there actual? They are the others are actual people just from like another dimension. They're
It's
still
never
them?
really clear. It's them, but it's a different version of them.
Well, because in this movie, you never know. Is it body jumping? Is it just the essence of the person that it's taken? It's a shapeshifter, so it doesn't need to take. It could either touch you or just be around you and just see you and then just shapeshift into what it wants to be. But there's no bodies left over. Where are the bodies? They just disappeared in thin air. He killed them. Are they buried in the back in the desert? Like,
well, they made it a point of saying that everybody disappeared because even the little girl's blog that was insanely detailed about the history, at the end of that, when the police report started up, it said there were never any bodies found. There was no evidence of foul play. Everything was cleaned up, which they show in this one too.
yeah.
When he goes into the house at one point, everything is arranged in groups of 5. But the next morning, when things are over with, everything is perfectly cleaned and normal again. It's like nothing happened.
Yeah, it looks like there was not even anyone that even was partying there because it was a hot mess in that place. For the refrigerator was like oddly stacked with frankfurters and
Well, yeah, you
beer.
realize too, all that was arranged in groups of 5 too.
Yeah, it was.
And you just assume somebody in the house was a little OCD and stacked everything, but then you realize, oh no, the things in there stacking everything in groups of 5.
But it just that just bothers me because you can't just disappear. Like you can't just there's no body. Like there's
Yeah, what did it do with the body? Did it pull him to another
there's
dimension?
a loophole. Yeah.
Not quite sure.
That was not clear whatsoever. I mean, if you are just going in and you just want to watch something just to watch something, then this is fine. But if you're looking for if you're going to analyze every single fucking thing, this is not the movie for you.
This is what you call, I've heard them talk about it too, where they call the refrigerator movie, where after you watch the movie and you go down to get a drink from the refrigerator, you open the door and you go, hey, wait a minute. How come they did this? It's like the refrigerator scene in E.T. where they're like, wait, why didn't E.T., if he could make things fly, why didn't he just fly at the beginning of the movie to catch up with the spaceship and he wouldn't have been lost? Oh, answer, he didn't have a bicycle.
He didn't, and the bicycle is what made him. It was the Schwinn.
Yeah, he was gone with the Schwinn.
Exactly, gone with the Schwinn.
But I love these people in this movie too, man. They are some hard partying people. Like, he meets them, they're smoking weed. They go back to the house, they are drinking, they're doing shots, they're smoking more weed. They wake up in the morning, as soon as the one guy wakes up, he's like, who's ready to smoke? And just starts passing out the joints. It's like, damn, did you even come down from the first high before you started in again? No, they did not. They never stopped smoking and drinking this whole trip, which again explains why they didn't notice a lot of this stuff. Everybody was too fucking high to realize, did I just stack all this stuff in groups of 5, or is this something weird going on?
Yeah, and then like they went out of their way. Like, I understand character development. I welcome it. I love it. I need it. Okay, but why spend so much of the movie really like fully developing the brother who's in the movie for a very short time? And when I mean the brother, I mean the older brother he's visiting from his college.
Yeah.
You don't really get a lot of backstory or even a personality from the guy that's the main guy of the film. It's all about the brother, how he's natural, he's disconnected from technology, he's so, he's meditating, he eats healthy, he's so clean.
He rides bikes.
But yet, that has nothing to do with what's going to happen to him later on. Spoiler alert, he's going to get murdered because it's not a happy ending, guys. And it ends with...
But is it a happy ending, though? It's kind of ambiguous. Maybe there's nothing going on. Maybe somehow...
It ends just like, and I can understand why someone would make this comparison. It's very The Thing-like. Where it's like, is Childs the fucking thing or is it fucking Russell? Like, you don't know. Who is it? Is it... You don't know what's going on. Everyone has their own opinion on that. For me, the guy is... First of all, he got like boner excited when the brother was like, I'm gonna take you and we're gonna meet my friends. And he's like, oh yeah, hope there's 3 of them, so there's 5 of us. Ha. He kind of does it like like little smirk in the fucking mirror, like
It was very subtle. It was very like maybe he's just happy.
he's the fucking thing. There's no.
I'm not sure.
How are you not sure? Literally, the thing came into his fucking cubbyhole while he's currently in the fucking ground with his 1982 fucking lighter. Oh, that's the only thing he got with him, and he's there all like, and the fucking his G is hovering over him, handing him a lighter. Even this is just like Inception when it's like, oh shit, did the fucking thimble, like whatever the dreidel, did it topple or did it keep going? Because the bottom of the lighter is singed, like it went through some fucking like fire, like he just burned himself up, and all that we have is this singed lighter, which his G placed on the bowl for the fucking brother. Like, it's just, there's so many little things. I don't know. I mean, you walk away, let me know. Send us a note somewhere. If you see the movie.
Yeah, this is available on Netflix now, and for someone's first movie, it's pretty good. I was impressed for a first movie. I've seen a lot of first movies that are not anywhere near this good.
You know, it's 2.5 knives. For me.
I was gonna give it 3.
That's fine. You could give it 3. I mean,
it's
better than that other Bye Bye Man. That movie's really fucking terrible. We saw that for free, and I was like, I want my fucking time back.
Yeah,
I want my time back. Never see that
does
movie.
A lot of it does a trick that a lot of movies, like a lot of lower budget movies, do. Is they do a lot of wide shots with it.
Oh, thank you for bringing this shit up. That was another thing I hated about this movie. It's like, people are talking, and we have, we're doing the podcast, as you may or may not know, while our beloved child is sleeping downstairs, and she's extremely young. So we're doing this in like the attic area, and I lost my fucking train of thought. Damn. Oh. So we're doing this in the attic area, and let me just tell you that, we got to be a little quiet. And it's just one of those things like,
the people are walking away from the camera, and many times, like, you're not actually seeing the people. They've already walked out of the frame, or they're very small in the frame, but you're still hearing them talk. So you've got to turn it way up or turn on the captions to be able to know what they're saying.
And we have the captions on for like everything that we watch. So the captions are on. We hear people talking. Mind you, this happens right out at the beginning of the movie. If it would have happened later on, I would have thought, okay, this is like his G, like looking at them from afar, like traveling to them from wherever the fuck else it just came from, probably murdering that other blog girl, so, but no, it happens like right off the bat from the beginning of the film. So it has nothing to do with the history whatsoever. It's just a technique they decided to do. And you don't know which character is speaking with who. It's because it's more than just 2 people a lot of the times.
Well, that was the thing too. I mean, like, they talk about this thing's attracted to groups of 5, but there's 10 characters in this. And I kind of thought that was a little too much, because you don't spend a lot of time with a lot of them. They might as well have just had like 4 characters, and then he's the 5th.
They took out the first people that they take out, or the people that there wasn't a lot of character development and that you don't really like care about. It's the people, the second group. So the first group really are just sacrificial lambs, just to fucking as filler. The second group are the ones you're more attached to, and those are the ones you actually see. I mean, that part did remind me of another movie, but I can't really place it right now. But there's a part of the movie, I mean, spoiler, where everyone's killing themselves in different ways. Like, someone is wrapping saran wrap around their mouth. Another person just I want to say slit their wrist, but that already happened earlier. Everyone's taking each other out.
Bleach.
Oh yeah, oh my god, there's some guy drinking bleach. I was like, during that. It was terrible.
That was a great shot, because they didn't say anything. He just reached under the counter, picked up the bottle of bleach, and started chugging it.
Yeah, and like the main character's trying to stop everyone from like committing suicide, but yeah, he doesn't. It doesn't end well.
And that's something the His-G, not only does it imitate people, it also causes people to do things.
Yeah, it has power over them, so it's able to do, like, it put like a barrier around the house, but then when you try to step out in that barrier, it's like the house, like you're going around in a circle. You can't really escape once it has you in its like little world. It's like,
that was a pretty effective scene too, where the guy he runs out of the circle, and then you realize he's standing right back, like at the far end of the circle again, looking at the house from a little bit different direction.
I'm gonna give you a warning right fucking now. Do not watch this movie on any crazy fucking drugs, because you will lose your fucking mind. Like, it's in a desolate area. Everyone is doing drugs. There's weird, trippy fucking bullshit happening. And that whole scene would have fucked someone up. I can't even, if I was on like some kind of like hallucinogen or something where it was going to alter my state, then I don't know. That I would have been completely freaked the hell out. Maybe everyone that was working on this film was on shrooms, and that's what made the movie for them.
It could have been, but it's worth checking out. It's a decent enough movie, I think.
It's alright. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. 2.5 knives for me.
3 for me.
3 for, and that's Head Count on Netflix now, and it was released in 2018. Thank you so much, guys, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.